It is a common fact that everyone is equal before the law. But in real life situation, is that really true? There are different kinds of people on planet Earth. Some look ordinary, but undoubtedly, there are some men that are extraordinary. There are some men that goes beyond the normal. There are some men that have proved to live a life that is higher than other men. And so, is it really true that we are all equal before the law? This is one of the reasons why this podcast, Beyond Ordinary, was created. Good morning. You are welcome to today's broadcast. In this podcast, our aim is to show you things that you can do that can take you beyond the ordinary. This podcast is out to show you and to teach you simple steps to becoming extraordinary. Simple steps that you can take that will help you and empower you to achieve great things in your life. Anybody who lives an ordinary life will die an ordinary death, and his life will be forgotten. But there are people who decide that their life must count. They must do things that will affect their generation. People who have a covenant with themselves and with their God, that they must bring a change to their environment. They must bring a change to their generation. These are the kinds of people that this podcast is out, to raise. This podcast is out to help you become extraordinary. And as you listen to episodes after episodes, in just a few months, your life cannot remain the same. And so today, the topic of our discussion is very simple, and it is this: how do I tap into the extraordinary realm? How do I tap into the extraordinary realm? Now, the first thing you have to understand is that even though we are living in this world of our five senses, where we operate by what we see and what we can feel or touch, or the things that we can smell, or the things that we can hear, normal people, ordinary people make use of these five senses. They live by the operation of these five senses: what we can see, what we can feel, what we can touch, and these are good. This is the normal life. This is the ordinary life. This must be present for life of a human being to continue as normal. If any one of these five senses is missing, it's no longer normal. It has become an abnormal kind of a life. It's still a good life, you see, but what I'm saying that it's not complete. For instance, if somebody is blind, he's still living a normal life, but there's something missing. But the good thing about it is that some people are missing one or two of these five senses, and yet they are still living an extraordinary life. And that is why it is very important for you to stay tuned in this podcast so that you can learn some of the things that made some people go beyond the ordinary. We have seen blind men becoming so great in life that they are known all over the nation. We have seen people who are crippled becoming stupendously rich, that even able-bodied men do not have the kind of affluence and wealth that they have amassed in their lifetime. We have seen people who came from very, very poor family and from very, very poor nation becoming one of the greatest and richest men on earth. There are things that if you knew, you can also achieve what those great men have achieved. There are principles that operate in the universe that if you knew them and abide by those principles and operate according to the workings of those principles, you will have the result that any great man also have had. So the first thing to tap into the realm that is beyond ordinary is to understand that there is a sixth sense. There is another sense that is different from the five senses we are used to. And this sixth sense is the sense that I call the sense of the supernatural, which some people can call faith. Because with eyes you can see, but with faith you can tap into the realm that is beyond this realm. Faith is a spiritual sense that helps you to feel what others cannot feel. Faith is a spiritual sense that can help you to sense what other people cannot sense. Faith is a spiritual sense that can help you to see what many people cannot see. Faith is a power that can help you to conceive what have never been conceived by a man. Faith is a driving force. When you have it, you can never remain ordinary. When you have this faith, you go beyond the normal. When you have this faith, you achieve unbelievable, accomplishments. Faith is what drove great men to becoming great. When you have this faith, you see what ordinary eye cannot see. You do what ordinary man cannot attempt to do. This faith must be in God and in you. Faith in yourself. Faith in your inherent ability. Faith in your capacity to do what you believe you can do. Let's look, for instance, at some people who came to change the history of our world. When Faraday came to this world and talked about electricity, people thought he was crazy. People thought it was impossible. But he had faith in himself, and he believed in his ideas, and he carried out those things that he believed, and our world have changed for it. In developed world on this earth, there are many things that cannot be done without electricity. Whole country is running on the electricity that was invented by Michael Faraday. There are some houses they operate by electricity. The gate opens by electric impulse. It's an electric gate that must open. When there is no electricity, that gate cannot work. Whole cities are built on the workings of electricity that was invented by one man. Another thing I want you to look at is the story of Carl Benz when he invented the first car. Can you see the multiple effect of Carl Benz's invention? Because Carl Benz was crazy enough to bring out his idea of a motor car which everybody thought was impossible. Look at the multiple effect of his idea. His idea have created the fuel station where many people are employed to sell gasoline so that vehicles can run. Can you imagine the number of motor vehicle assembly plant and the number of people that are employed because Carl Benz put his theory of inventing a motor car? Can you imagine the multiple effect of the manufacturing of motor cars in our world? So many people having jobs because Carl Benz was able to believe in himself that his ideas are workable. Can you see the number of motor cars that we have in the world today? Can you imagine those people who are doing transport business, taxi drivers, who could not have had another job if there were no motor vehicles. Can you see the number of jobs that had been created because Carl Benz believed that there was going to be a motor car and he invented it? Okay, let me give you another example. Look at airplane today. The Wright brothers, they just decided that they were going to do a machine that will fly in the sky. And people thought they were crazy. Some people would have them to be examined for insanity. And they did it. They flew the first airplane on planet Earth. And today, millions of people are flying in the sky because of the Wright brothers' invention, the airplane. One day I was in the airport waiting for a friend to pick him up from the airport to the house. And as we were waiting, I was counting the number of planes that was landing in, Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, Nigeria. By the time my friend's airplane would touch the ground, I had counted more than 80 aircraft landing. And let's assume that is only in Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Nigeria, in Lagos. Let's assume only 50 people are on board of each of the airplane. That means 50 times 80 people, which is about 4,000 people, have landed as I was waiting. Just within a short few hours, about 4,000 people had landed only in Lagos Muritala Mohammed Airport alone. Can you imagine the number of planes that was taking off and landing in all the international airports all around the world? You see, that tells us that millions of people are daily flying in the air because of the Wright brothers. Let's look at the multiple effect of that invention. The people who are working in the airplane as hosts and hostesses who prepares food. The people that are, monitoring the airplane at the terminal. The pilots themselves. The people who must service the airplane. Each of the airplanes that are built around the world. Can you see the number of people who are having job because of the idea of two men, Wilbur and Orville Wright? Because they only believed in themselves. So the point I'm trying to sell to you is that if you can believe in yourself and that idea that looks crazy, if you can just step out by faith, something great may happen. You may accomplish extraordinary effect. Your life can go beyond the ordinary, like the life of some of these people I have been talking about. You can do something. You can change your world. You do not need to live an ordinary life. There is something in you that can change your world. If only you can just believe. If only you can tap into faith and believe those ideas that are coming to your mind. You can change your world. And that is it today that I want to speak. In the next episode, I'm going to talk more about how to acquire the power that will take you beyond ordinary. Thank you for listening, and please rebroadcast this to your friends. Subscribe to this channel so that you can know when new podcasts are released. Thank you once again for listening. Rebroadcast this to your friends and loved ones. Thank you once again. This is Joseph Adenuga signing out and saying to you, be blessed and remain blessed.